I'm starting off this video with the testing of my safety equipment. So my EPIRB, my PLB, my SART, and I call the Coast Guard to check what is the procedure. They explain the procedure and then step by step I go through it and I'll show you how that works. If you have not subscribed yet, could you please do that? It's free and it helps me. Thank you.
I think that's all we need.
Yes.
If we get an activation, we'll just give you a bell just to make sure the beacon's off. Yeah, and then good luck.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll get through the email the search procedure to announce the test and to call off the test once I've done it. Afterwards, I'll do the PLB and the EPIRB test, and you know the hexacodes and you know that I'm testing, so then it'll all be good. Lima, Oscar, Victor, Echo, Whiskey, Oscar, Romeo, Kilo, X-ray.
Okay, I've sent that now.
Wonderful.
Cool. Awesome. Nice chatting here, Strickland.
Yes, thank you so much, and I'll proceed with the testing.
Awesome. And your beacons are they're all registered with the Netherlands.
Yes.
RCC.
Yes.
As well.
That's correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.
All stations, all stations, all stations. This is sailing vessel Loveworks, Loveworks, Loveworks. At 10:30, I will activate an AISMO device in the vicinity of Marsden Cove Marina as part of a trial that will last for 5 minutes. The MMSI number will be transmitted right here, and it's one number which all the systems are connected to. I just let the vessels around me know that I'm gonna test, and I'm gonna test right now. All stations, all stations, all stations. This is vessel Loveworks, Loveworks, Loveworks. AISMO device trial in vicinity of Marsden Cove Marina is complete. Loveworks out. Next on the agenda today is fixing the Navionics charts. I have I have a Raymarine Axiom 7 plotter, and that goes with Navionics SD charts. I have them here. The difficulty is that I have so many regions active that I want to do it with good internet. So now I'm in New Zealand and I'm activating Pacific Islands to go to Vanuatu, Australia to go to Australia, Christmas Island and Cocos-Keeling, and then Africa for Mauritius and South Africa. And since I had Africa on already on because I went to Cape Verde, I only needed to update that. But since I changed the insides of these two, the internal number of the SD card was different than I thought it would be. So I asked the Navionics help desk to change the region from Europe to Indian Ocean, because I need the Indian Ocean for 2 islands only, and that's Christmas Island and Cocos-Keeling. And now that became a difficult thing, but they have a very good help desk. They call from Italy, where the help desk is, and remotely they help me to put on a new region. So that's sort of all fine now. I'm going to put it on the card now, and then I'm going to put the card back into the Raymarine plotter to double check if it's really working. In choosing Navionics charts, you have basic charts, you have the plus chart, and then you have other charts. So basic charts are like smaller regions, and therefore I think I can choose Australia West, but I need to check if Christmas Island and Cocos Keeling are on there. If not, I need to go to the plus chart of the Indian Ocean, and that definitely has them, but it's more expensive because it's a bigger region. So I'm going to the internet now and find that out. So these are the islands, and they are on the map of Australia, but they're also on the map of the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. But since I only need these two islands, it's a bit expensive to download the whole chart. But here I cannot see if it's on the chart. So, therefore, I need to go to my website. So it says Australia East, Central to New Zealand. I have a safety plan for my Garmin backup system. I have boating charts which go on my phone, and these are for Africa, Middle East, Australia, New Zealand and Pacific Islands. I'm good with that. Then I have the SD card for Africa, Middle East. I have that done. So there is a way to see the charts, but I almost... And now I'm gonna test the Navionics chart. So I'm opening up the plotter from the backside. Wrong screwdriver. Testing the chart plotter worked, so all the charts work. And now I'm going to go to the iPad and the iPhone with Navionics boating. Now I am synchronizing my iPad and also updating the areas, because I download the maps offline so that if I don't have any Wi-Fi, I'm still able to use the maps. In that I found a problem. So I was navigating from New Zealand to Vanuatu, and it didn't give me a route. And I was like, I paid my subscriptions, I see my subscriptions, I'm logged in with the right user. So I was like, what's happening? And then this morning it struck me, because there is a part in the Pacific Ocean which I cannot download. So then it has something like, well, that's a part we don't know, so we cannot create a route for you. So I'll show you what I'm seeing. So here you see all the black parts, because it's in dark mode right now, because it's early in the morning. And this little piece is not downloaded, so I'm downloading that so that I have all the charts. And I wanted to make a route from here to Vanuatu, but you see that this part is not downloaded because there's simply nothing there. And then it doesn't create a route for you. So I found that out. Now I'm all okay. What else? Let me think. Well, I can have a look at my list, of course. Oh yeah, so I have, of course, the grocery shopping to do. Tomorrow I have a phone meeting with Predict Wind to check up everything that is important for ocean sailing again, because once I came into New Zealand I changed all the settings to local sailing and I turned off my Iridium Go. And when I turned on my Iridium Go, I noticed that I have 2 new phone numbers. And that means that I had to check in again with Garmin IERCC for an emergency call to check if they could receive my call through Iridium Go Exec. Do you want me to read out the number or do I need to re-register? And that all worked, so that's very nice. So would you say that you wait till the low to pass and go on top of the last bit of the low? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'd probably wait till that's dissipated, because as that's sort of come across, and I'm just, we've got sea state rumbling through here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you see this a long way out, right? So you got all these different models and they're all over the place in a sense. Definitely out 10 days, they'll have some disagreement. But over a period of time, sort of inside that 5 days, they should start to get some certainty or some agreement, right?
Yeah.
I'm just relying on the weather routing because it's using all the high resolution where available.
Yeah.
So I'll be into sail planning, and you've set up all those polars. So for me, the departure planning is a great tool, but I don't spend too much on it because it's just an executive summary. It gives me 3 or 4 days of, 4 days of 24-hour spacings.
Yeah.
From that, I can sort of make my own mind up, and maybe it is the Thursday, maybe it is the Friday. You're not supposed to leave on a Friday if you're a proper sea captain.
Yeah.
Rolling through here.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly you've got that, but I'm straight into the tables.
Yeah.
I do a lot of sailing, so I actually don't want to see a lot of under 8 knots.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly don't want to see anything over 40 knots either.
Yeah.
So for me, looking at this quickly, I would say, well, it's probably in here I'm thinking I might want to go. So what we'll do is I'll go into the weather routing, sail routing, and then I'll just run some routing with a start time of round about there, right? Because this is supposed to be fun, so we don't want to be having to get up at 5 a.m. and try and clear customs at 7 and get off the dock. So, gentlemen's hours, we're probably going to get off the dock at 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And if it's not 10 and 11, it's probably going to be later in the day, but, be sensible.
Yeah.
You don't want to be going at, you want to have at least 3 or 4 hours of daylight or 2 hours of daylight before you start getting into a night watch on that first night, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would say 2 days out from departure, I would probably be just getting into the offshore app again. Just how I have a quick look. I'm not getting too excited with this. I go, well, okay, I get it. I can see the general synoptic overview of what's happening. But I'm straight into the tables because, as you know, there's a whole bunch of stuff and it's all the models. So, first thing is, what are the trends? My eyes down here. Look, there's some rain there. That might be a high alert for me. What is that to do with? Is there some cape? Is there some thunderous activity? Well, there is some elevated cape towards the end of that. And you would expect that, right, to the top end of where we're going. Yeah. We're going to Fiji, going to Vanuatu, all those things. We know that's a potential area of thunderous activity. So we need to be very mindful of that.
Yeah.
Well, look, it looks good, eh? The temperature's going up. It just means we're going north.
Yeah, more towards the equator again, yeah.
Yeah, 3 meters, that's all cool. It's all about the period for me. And as you know, this one here is really important. Like for me, there's some peaks in here. Yeah. So this is for me, there's areas of uncomfortableness here. Yeah, yeah. Uncomfortableness here. Yeah. And this is real key for me for departure planning as well, because we want to make it fun, right? Yes. Like it's not, even for you, I mean, I know you're not going to get there in 6 days and you're probably not going to get there in 8 days, but you're going to be there. What do you think?
I got it here. So it says 1,000.
So for me here, you see how that's populated. But for me, that's not big enough, right? For me, that box. So basically, I'll be dragging that out here. Yeah. And especially early days getting out of here.
But what about the file size now?
The file size for you, like with the exec, I wouldn't be too concerned if it's 250, 500 KB. Like for me, for the Iridium Go, for example, I can get away with getting up to where you're going with sort of 150 KB. Yeah. But for you, 250, 300, even up to 500 if you happen to go that far. It's absolutely fine. Always do it twice a day, because what you want to do is do it when the models have rolled in again. So ECMWF, the next expected update for that is 8 o'clock tonight. 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 at night is I would be doing my weather routing religiously. You're better than using optimized settings because you understand the product. This is for people who've pushed all the wrong buttons and they need to get back to some sort of ground zero, right?
Yeah.
Gribs, for me, it's 24 hourly or 12 hourly at best.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will bring in no more than 5 days worth of gribs because I'm going to be bringing this in every 12 hours anyway. It's just pointless for me to bring all that in, right? So
yeah, exactly.
wind and pressure is always a must. I only bring these other ones in if I see in those table results there is some rain, right? So if I saw there was some rain, I potentially would bring it in. If I saw that the cape was elevated, I might bring in the cape grib. But at first run, I'm not going to bring those in. As we've spoken about before, with the GMDSS, always bring that in. These two, always bring those in. Yeah. Scrolling down, observations, no, don't worry about that. It could be quite cool in the middle of the ocean. If you brought a smaller grib in, you might be able to pick up someone with a data hub, which would actually help validate what weather's doing in front of you. So that could be quite cool. But what I would do is just probably make that a smaller grib and bring it down as a secondary.
Okay, yeah.
I don't worry about turning this on, the ocean data. I'm not worried about that at all because my weather routing results are giving it to me.
And what if I'm crossing Torres Strait? Then I would be interested in the currents, right?
Yeah, exactly. What I would do is I'd always do that pre-planning stuff. So I would actually have screenshots of that. What I would do is I'd do a secondary grib, a really small area of say maybe 2 or 3 days in front of the boat and have a look at it, okay? And if you've got, as you know, you've got a northerly breeze with a northbound current, it creates an awful sea state. So in that point, you want to stay out of it. Now, because I've got the GMDSS turned on, you see this wonderful stuff, right? Like you just would miss this. If I go to GPS tracking, you know, as you know, you'll see this stuff. So you've got, you know, you've got old mate out here.
Yeah.
Now, with the exec itself, are you, because I know you don't have it on power all the time, or you might do, but because you don't have the external antenna, it can be under your spray hood, right? And then you take it back downstairs. That's how you use it?
Well, no, normally I just have it in the cockpit on a fixed place where it's always on power. And it just goes through the roof and I have always the right signal so far. Currently I'm editing my videos in Marsden Cove Marina, and today and yesterday were very, very windy days. So this morning we had 58 knots of wind, lots of rain, and time to make some new videos. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot to me, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's free and it helps me. If you want to sponsor me, that's also an option. You can become a patron, and that is patreon.com/loveworks, or for one-time or monthly donations through PayPal, it's paypal.me/loveworks. Thanks very much and see you soon. Bye!